I'm going to begin just by asking what it was that attracted you to getting involved in The Invisible Man.
It was the script. That coupled with Lee, directing. I was a big fan of Upgrade, his last movie, and Elizabeth Moss. I mean, she's just phenomenal. So it was a sort of no-brainer. I remember there was a very, very brief conversation where agents sort of went, you're not really in the movie. I went, don't care. I don't care. I just think it's brilliant. If you're going to take this property that we've known about for so long and you're going to update it this way, I mean, this is the way to do it. You make the movie about domestic abuse, you make it about gaslighting women, and you actually tell a story that is an important story to tell.
And I just met Lee, and I don't know if it's because he's a director of films that are generally quite dark, but I was expecting someone quite serious, and he just was quite irreverent and quite ridiculous the whole way through the movie.
He's great.
That must be great on a film like this that has got heavy material, to have someone to provide that light relief.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the combo with him and Lizzie I genuinely don't think I've laughed so much on. Genuinely, I don't think I've ever laughed so much on a set. It was so much fun, the shooting process. And then you have people, like you say, he's so kind of light-hearted, but then when it comes down to it, and we need to shoot, he's the same with Lizzie. You go to these really dark places on set, but it's the process of doing it is such an enjoyable one.
And as for Elizabeth, I feel like I should call her Lizzie now. Everyone else seems to do. I mean, she is one of those people. When she's in a movie, it just whatever character might be written on the page, it's elevated instantly by her portrayal. She's so nuanced. I mean, because obviously, you've been quite a few things now, but even now, when you work with people like that, you're still learning from them.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I think you do. You learn on kind of every job that you're on, but she's kind of terrifyingly good, and because she is able to switch out of things. So she has this kind of this sort of confidence to her ability, and it's not arrogance in any way. It's not. She's the most kind of humble person you'll meet, but there's just this. She just knows that she can turn up and do what's needed exactly when it's needed, and it's quite impressive that, I think, as actors, we spend an awful lot of time sort of second-guessing ourselves. I can't do it. And she just kind of turns up and goes, where do you need me? And then just delivers this thing. It's phenomenal to watch.
And you played quite a nasty piece of work.
Yeah.
Do you need to like him or find empathy with him in order to portray him? Not just this character, but just generally speaking.
Of course. I think you kind of can't pass any judgment on your character. And we talked about that a lot, Lizzie and I and Lee, about not playing Adrian or the Invisible Man as this villain. I couldn't approach him that way because it wouldn't be a human way of approaching him. And so I had to find a way in somehow. He wasn't necessarily a very comfortable character to play, but it's important,
And so I want to know more about his house. Was that a set or was that a real place?
No, it's a real place.
I mean, that looked incredible. But how important do you think, though? It felt so deliberate, that the look of that place and his affluence. How important was that to this character, would you say?
Oh, hugely. And Lee, he's so specific. Even in the script, he was so specific about what point we saw Adrian, what parts of Adrian the audience saw. So it was all of these things that it was all in Lee's head that he built himself, that were, the house and the cars and the dog and all of these things, that this sort of fortress he'd built around the house and the security, all of these things are just, they're just clues to how the workings of this guy's mind, or how this guy's mind works.
And it's been a sort of whirlwind couple of years for you. Have you sort of had a moment yet to stop and digest everything? Because you've been involved in some really incredible projects.
Not quite. Listen, I do feel I've been doing this a long time. Do you know, I've been doing nearly 70 years. And I feel very, very lucky. I think a couple of years ago, I made a decision which agents at the time did not like, where I said, I'm just not doing anything shit again anymore. And no one was happy about that. But I feel very lucky that I get to be a part of these really, really interesting and important stories that are being told.
I think that's a nice mantra, just I'm not doing anything shit anymore.
Yeah,
it's a nice way to live your life, really.
Just not doing it.
Brilliant. Professor Much, cheers.
Thank you.